Okay, the reason I stopped the video and start a new video because I want to give myself some time, like just to breathe some air, because it's really a lot of tensions on what I have to say. Okay, I kind of like redo that video because my mother just turned off the light. If she turned off the light again, I'm just gonna continue with the light turned off. Okay, so basically I just want to say that it's been going on for a very long time, for many years already, that what I've been saying, that I have posted up on my PTTS blog at tunblr.com/PTTS 2023, and also on the YouTube channel I have uploaded. So on my PTTS blog, it is articles that I post up. As for my YouTube channel, it is videos where I speak in front of the camcorder, and the address is youtube.com/ad PTTS 2023. So pretty much it's the same, like basically what I wrote on my YouTube channel description. Just wanted to overcome being alone, including antisocial, and overcome being humiliated by the world almost daily. Both of them, I would say almost daily, because of the situation I'm in. So that's the description I wrote on my YouTube channel description. So just basically, I just wanted to break down and cry, that just wanted a little bit of attention, recognition, credit. It's like that I also exist in the city, San Diego. I live here almost my whole life, starting after I immigrated to the city in 1992. I've been living in this city since 1992. So for a very long time been living in this city, and it felt like should have some recognition that I've been living in this city, and that's why I just want to break down and just cry about my situation. Why can't I have any friends, and why have to be alone all the time, and things like that. And so anyway, I just felt that maybe it could get some attention if, like my father chopped me to pieces with a butcher knife and things like that. Maybe it could get some attention, but probably, one second, I'm just gonna turn up this alarm really quick. Okay, so that's the alarm for the rice. That's the rice cooker. I set the alarm because I'm cooking some rice. Okay, so I'm gonna continue where I left off. Okay, so anyway, pretty much I felt that was the only way for me to get some attention with my father. Earlier, like I was saying, that my father chopped me to pieces with his butcher knife, but I felt maybe, like the city will celebrate that, he have redeemed himself, followed through as this very, whatever he is, kind of he redeemed it himself, because it takes a lot of courage to do that, chop a person to pieces. So he redeem himself, and I would be just saying, just like this nobody that no one cares about, this person that people look down all the time and things like that. And I felt, it's just, even though it got some attention, but it's just more looked down on, just a nobody that no one cares about. Even after my father chopped me to pieces, just kind of like in a way, and it's like, anyway, that is probably my only way to get some attention. So like I've been saying a lot throughout my videos is that if maybe someone don't have to be my father chopping me to pieces, maybe someone do an act of mercy on me and drive a car, run me over and kill me at the scene. That probably that's the only way, maybe for me to get some kind of little bit of attention. I don't know. So like I just want maybe just I don't know, like I don't really care if you're ugly, you're fat or whatever it is, that you might have discriminate at, just want to have some friend, make some friend and things like that. It's like been living in the city for almost my whole life and I can't make any friends and things like that. It's just so, it just don't make any sense to me. It's like what I have to do to make some friend and to not be alone all the time. It's like so pretty much I just felt like just saying the same thing over and over all the time, just like wanted to stop being alone, including antisocial, want to stop the world from humiliating me. It's almost daily, it's like felt like just been saying the same thing over and over for many years already. The articles that I have posted up on my PTTS blog, the video I have uploaded on my YouTube channel, it's like when it's something gonna happen? When am I gonna stop being alone, including antisocial? So, okay, so like earlier my mother, she turned off the light, so like I was saying, with the light turned off, it's harder to see me and things like that. So just bear with me for now. And so anyway, like I don't know, like I just wanted a chance to just be part of the city. I did my leadership responsibility and duty. I provided my services to the community, did all as much as I can, and I don't know why I'm being rejected by the city and no one would leave me any feedback on my PTTS blog and my YouTube channel and forcing me to be alone all the time. I don't know why. Why the whole city is doing this to me. The only explanation was earlier, like I was saying, that maybe my father's a very bad father and messed up and abusive father. He should have redeemed himself, chopping me to pieces. That's the only explanation I could come up with. It's like anyway, so basically just want to break down and cry, and I couldn't do it because that was what I wanted the first time, like back in 2016 when I first wrote my articles to post up on my PTTS blog. That's what I wanted, I want to break down and cry about how devastated my situation is. The same, when my first video uploaded on my YouTube channel, the same, just want to break down and cry. But I pulled through, I wrote all those articles and posted up regularly on my PTTS blog. The same, like I made all those videos and uploaded on my YouTube channel because I didn't break down and cry, I suck it up and I followed through with it. But it's just like, it's the same thing, what have I got me so far, how come I can't get any feedback or any attentions? No credit, no recognition. It's just like, I don't know, maybe it break down and cry, maybe it's worse, maybe worse I could, but like how worse can it get? I'm already got no attention and no credit, it's like, I don't know, like, why can't I get any attentions in San Diego? Have to keep telling people to do an act of mercy on me, to run me over the car and kill me at the scene. That's the only way to get some attention. Finally, these two chicken to chop me to pieces with a butcher knife. So I have to ask people to do me an act of mercy, to run me over with a car and kill me at the scene. That's the only way to clean up his being a very bad father and messed up and abusive, created all these problems in my life and this devastated situation. Can't even make any friends, have to be alone all the time. People keep looking down on me all the time and can't have any recognition, any credits. So we chop me to pieces, clean up his mess, it's like, and he's chicken out. He's chicken and he can't follow through with it. So I don't know, maybe one day hear me in the news, got run over by a car and died at the scene. Then finally, maybe you felt bad that you should have probably gave me a little bit of attention earlier. Maybe it doesn't have to be like that. That's the only way for me to get a little bit of attention. It's like, I don't know, like I'm saying, it's very hard to always be alone all the time, it's like, it's for like many years already, I've always been alone and can't make any friends and everything, it's like, it's like, you know, little, and every little thing, you know, because I'm alone, you know, can't, little thing happen, and it's like, felt like it's no one there to help me out, and things like that, and so very devastating, you know. It's just like, didn't cook enough food, you know, and or like I get sick and couldn't cook for myself, and it felt like it's very devastating and things like that, and so it's just like, it's very devastating to live alone, you know. It's just like this whole city with all these people. Why can't I be part of the city? Why can't I make a friend and live with another person and things like that? And so about 2011, you know, because of my situation, couldn't make any friend and have to go to Mexico to pay a prostitute, spend some time with them, and I felt that was like the chance for my father to chop me to pieces, you know, when he found out I can't make any friends and have to go to Mexico to pay a prostitute, spend some time with them and things like that. So I felt that was the opportunity for my father to chop me to pieces, and he chickened out and he didn't follow through with it. I want to pause the video. Turn it. Well, if I turn on the light, she'll probably turn it off again, and I don't know, maybe she might even try to create some problems. So I'm just gonna go with the light turned off. You know, it's just harder to see me. It's just like, anyway. So basically, just wanted to break down and cry. It's a very devastating situation. Like, you know, it's just like little thing. You know, it's like I don't know. Like, I just felt like little thing happened. I'm all alone. You know, no one would give me any tiny bit of acknowledgement, credits, recognition, or anything like that. I felt like, you know, it's a matter of time. You know, it's something very bad gonna happen to me and things like that. And so just little thing, you know, maybe it's like, I don't know, just really just wanted to stop being alone, including antisocial. It's like, so anyway, like, I'm just gonna quickly go through like how my life was like, you know. Each time I wanted to cry and I have to stop myself from crying and just suck it up and do what I'm doing right now, pretty much. So starting from 6 year old, back when I was living in the poor feudal countryside of Song Ba, Vietnam, same thing, my situation's very devastated, but I was 6 year old, can't do much, so I remember was wake up early in the morning and brew tea and placing the teacup at the altar around my house and pray to the gods to watch over me and things like that. And I'm gonna do it regularly early in the morning. And so instead of crying about how devastated my situation is, kind of did that regularly. And then when I'm 7 years old, Mama took on in that same countryside, I took on the children leadership, and so the children in my neighborhood were part of it and took on this leadership as the leader, and showing them the common sense, right and wrongs, strategy to win competition, and so on. So pretty much like, so early on, and so instead of crying about my devastated situation, I did that. And then after I immigrated to the USA and around like 9 years old, remember I started serving in the student service. And even though I did that, but it was still like, while I was walking to school, I would like cry and pray, it's like, that, because I'm in an even worse situation because I'm just immigrated to the USA and don't know how to speak the English language and adjusting to the culture and lifestyle, and my situations are very devastated, and I have leadership and I pray to the God regularly and all of that, and it's already very devastated in the poor feudal countryside. So I felt it's even more devastated in the USA, San Diego, California, USA. So I remember just walking to school and crying and praying, and so I get to school, I have to kind of suck it up, felt like maybe if I, the school staff see me crying, they would probably stop me from serving in the student service anymore, and I can't even be part of the student service. So I have to stop myself from crying at the school campus. And so I was hoping that the student service, maybe could watch over me and my situation don't have to be so devastated and things like that. And then months later, I felt like maybe the student service was not enough, and I felt like I incorporated, creating the empty-handed combat lead in the Count Point Elementary School also to go along with the student service. And I'm doing student service like I'm watching over the school campus, and now I just also watch over the empty-handed combat lead. So I felt like incorporate that also into Count Point Elementary School. So I gathered some student and told them about the empty-handed combat lead, like if they wanted to be part of it, and there was some of the student interested in it. So like I showed them some demonstration and things like that. So not long, like a student really like more and more students become part of it and becoming more and more popular in the Count Point Elementary School. So it start year after year start regulating, gather students together early in the year and regulate the empty-handed combat lead. So instead of crying about my situation, I did that. And then so year after year, just looking for a way, instead of crying about it, I did something about my situation. And as then so like I'm saying, you know, like I just wanted to focus on the more noticeable events, and then accepted as a journalist of the Beachcomber. I felt this was the breaking point. So like in a way, you know, journalists could really do something about the situation. And kind of like in a way, I felt as a journalist, I could probably do something about my situation. You know, because journalists, you know, they interview and help people find out what's going on in the situation and things like that. So I felt journalism would be something that I could do something about my situation and things like that. So that was like the breaking point. So I felt, you know, maybe things will, you know, might work out, you know, if I get accepted as a journalist of the Beachcomber. So I put a lot of emphasis, you know, maybe this is the breaking point. Maybe get a chance to do something about my situation, getting accepted as a journalist. So I put a lot of emphasis on being accepted as a journalist, and so instead of crying about my situation, I did that, and I got accepted as a journalist and the Beachcomber. And you know, like I went through the journalism. Basically, I just call it journalism tryout, or journalism training. So like training because I felt maybe might, you know, maybe still having that, you know, maybe get through this, you know, maybe in the future would, like I'm saying, you know, just we just wanted to do something about my situation I'm in, and just instead of crying and break down and cry and things like that. And so anyway, so just been doing that. And Sam, you know, like I back in my college year, you know, just try to keep everything very basic and fundamental. I felt like the multimedia skill would be very basic and fundamental, you know, to get some attention, basically, you know, get noticed and getting attentions. Maybe that's the first step, you know, to know about what's going on in my life. I need to have some kind of attentions and some notice, you know. It's like for the world to know what's going on in my life and things like that. So I felt, you know, the multimedia skill, you know, just emphasize on that. And so, you know, instead of crying that I couldn't get any attention or get noticed by the world, so I put a lot of emphasis, maybe have some multimedia skill, you know, work on my multimedia skill. Maybe could get some attention and get noticed and things like that. I remember when I got recommended to the San Diego Mesa College Multimedia Club. I remember it felt like finally, you know, maybe a break, you know. It's like now not just college multimedia classes, also a a college multimedia club. So like, remember it was finally got a break and things like that, and so it was, I think the two professors who recommended that club to me, Professor Alfonso Sabata and Professor Karen Owen. So I remember like telling them like maybe if I wasn't so broke on my student funds and things like that, I want to buy them something, a gift in return for that recommendation for me to go to the multimedia club and things like that. And so I was really glad, maybe it's that finally, got a break and things like that. And so pretty much, just emphasize a lot on the multimedia skill. That skill would allow me to get some attention and notice of just, keeping everything as basic slash fundamental as I could think of. And the multimedia skill was that emphasize, that I could think of. And basically, I'm just really afraid. Like, I'm just really afraid that my situation could get worse because I'm already doing the best I can in every possible way I could think of, and just very afraid it might get worse. That's why, it's like I'm trying to keep everything as basic slash fundamental as I could think of. So pretty much I'm really glad about the club. I felt maybe the club, it's kind of like in a way, sort of like that back then in the countryside when I took the leadership responsibility and duty. Sort of like the club, it's sort of like that, giving people a chance to do something with their life and things like that. So I was really glad that there was this club there and things like that, and the multimedia club and this Mesa College Multimedia Club. Anyway, but it's like just one semester. I was there like maybe when I got recommended. It was already in like the semester already started, so I kind of get into the club like not right at the beginning of the semester when Professor Alfonso Sabata and Professor Karen Owen recommended to me. It's already in past the beginning of the semester already, so I didn't get there like right at the beginning of the semester. But I felt maybe the next semester I could, experience what's it like at the beginning of the semester and things like that. So, I felt, it's in the campus, it's like it's not going away anywhere and things like that. And but it's just so coincident, just at the end of that semester, like just a disaster happened to Mesa College, and that disaster is the Mesa College Multimedia Club have to discontinue was like, you know, it was fine, you know, like I was telling the club members and staff, this college staff, you know, it's like, it seems like the club was doing fine and everything and things like that, and then all of a sudden I got elected, you know, the club members and school staff elected me, you know, to as a club president to do something so that the club doesn't discontinue it, and it was like, I don't know, like I was just speaking my mind about how I felt about the club, you know, I thought it was doing fine and things like that, and all of a sudden I got elected as club president and things like that, and so anyway, like, pretty much, so I kind of, you know, kind of suck it up, and instead of crying, kind of suck it up and just follow through with the election as club president, and so pretty much, you know, it's these things, like, should have, I don't know, like, I just keep thinking, what if I just break down one time, you know, and just cry it out, maybe might help get some attention or something, you know, it's like, anyway, it's just like, at the beginning of the video, like, when I was just planning, like, putting the equipment and everything together, it's just this thought of wanting to cuss at San Diego for being